Today, I'm with Cristina Vadastreanu. Cristina is a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, and you are Romanian, Cristina, and live in Sardinia. And
Yes,
I want to thank you very much for being with me today. Thank you.
thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. I met you very recently in Sardinia, and I invited you to be on my show because I was just really intrigued by some of the things you were sharing and why you find moving countries such an important part of your life. And so that's what I'd like to explore with you today, like get deeper into that as to why the whole phenomena of moving countries has become part of your life, really. So, are you happy that we start from there?
Yes, yes, sure.
Okay, great. Thank you. So just to give our listeners and viewers some context, you are married to a Romanian and you have two children. One's a young teenager and one's a little bit younger. And you made the move to Sardinia literally a year ago. So this is your celebratory month,
Yes.
so to speak, as you've lived in Sardinia a year. Um, and it's not your first move. You've moved one time before as a family. Um,
Yes.
but before we get into the locations, I want to explore this aspect of why moving countries is so important, because at some point in time, you had a life in Romania, married with children, and all was well. And tell me more.
So my journey started 8 years ago, even though I moved country 2 years ago, last year, at the beginning of the year, last year. Um, it started with the idea that I wanted to show my children how to be free. I was a teacher in the university, so even though it was the career that I dreamed of, the job that I dreamed of, it started to change my life in a way that I didn't like it at the beginning. I was always at work. I was always when I was in home. At home, I was working. I was not the mother that I wanted to show to my children. So I was thinking, okay, how can I teach my children to be happy, to enjoy life, to change that belief that it is, and I took it from my family that you can have it all. You must choose, or you have a job, a career, or you have a family life, and that you are always limited. So I didn't want it to give to my children that belief. And what is the best way to teach your children? By showing them, by doing the things. So that's why I started. The first step was to change my job. So I changed my job. I started a business that allowed me to have more freedom and to be able to do this kind of changes in my life, because before to change the country I changed the city.
Oh,
I
very good.
Yes, I moved to a city in Romania where I didn't know anybody, because and it was a city that I dreamed of because it was in the mountains. So at the beginning I dreamed of to have a house in the mountains. And I had a house. It took me 3 years, but I had it. And
And
uh,
can I ask you a question there? So, at that, prior to making the move to the mountains, and had you already, were you already clear that your intention was to move countries? So was the move to the mountains like an experience, a deliberate experience to see what it was like to move,
yes,
or you, yeah.
yes, yes. I had this. willing to change countries since I was in college. In fact, yes, in the university. My first experience was when in second year, when I was in the university, I had a exchange experience in Italy also, in close in a city, Padova, close to Venice. So that I think that was the uh, a light that made me okay. I like to meet new people, to meet a new culture, because also I believe that even we born in one country, this whole world is our home. So I don't feel that I'm a stranger when I move to another country. I feel that, okay, this is also my home. Even though it's something new, people are different, the culture is different, but this is what I like to learn about it and explore.
Mm.
So this is another reason that why I make these changes.
Mm. That's beautiful. And so with this premise in mind and the vision to move countries as a long-term goal, back to your story about moving to the mountains. So you had a dream to live in the mountains and you made that dream come true. And then were you happy? Were you enjoying that experience? And was the whole family happy living in this town?
Yes, yes, because it was something that we all wanted, even though it at the beginning was only my desire. In our family, usually happens this. I have the idea, and then I create the vision for others. The children always agree with me from the beginning, but my husband is a little more. I don't know how conservatory. So he doesn't like so much to make changes. But I start to I understood that he does that because at the beginning he didn't want to even to listen when I said to him, okay, I want how it be to move in this city to start over. And he said, oh, we have jobs here. We are good here. The children are so little because back then the children, my boy had was 1 year old and my daughter 4 years. So it was a challenge to do this thing. But when I created the vision, how it will be for us, for our children, he agreed. So this happened all the time.
Excellent. And I'm curious then, when you were enjoying the time in the mountain town and your husband has a job and you're running your business, when you then got to the point when you're ready to move countries, how was that for you and your husband? Because presumably he had settled, your children had settled maybe into, you know, the beginning of school life. So how was that time making
Uh,
that change?
so it was a little, I don't know how to say it, funny for me because literally I had a dream in one night. I was dreaming that I was walking on a beach and it was the water was so warm and it all was so beautiful. So I wake up with that feeling of feeling so good. And I watched the window, and even though it was April, we were in April, outside it was snowing. so so I said to my husband, I have an idea. So when he hears me saying that, he said, okay, I'm afraid now. What idea do you have? What do you want to do now? So I told him, I had this dream that I was living on an island and it was so beautiful, and I told him about the dream. And I said, what if what if And he's watch at me. Oh no, don't say that. So what if we move to an island? How it will be? And at the beginning, he didn't want it to listen. He said, "Oh no, you are crazy. We are here we lived here only 6 years. Um, we just accommodated. We made friends. It's all good. Why do you want now to start over in a new country where we don't know the language, we don't know anything?" And I let it settle, because when someone is so resistant to an idea, it's better to let some time to digest that idea. So step by step, I started to create the image. So with little things. Uh, when we walk in the evening, and maybe it was cold outside, and I said, imagine how it will be if now we were on a beach, and we hear the waves, and the children plays in the sand, and maybe we don't need any more clothes, only slippers and t-shirts, and I started to create that image. But how he's more pragmatic, more realistic. Okay, so I will do? What I will work? How it will be for me? And because of my business, so I can run it online from everywhere. This helped us so much, and give him the security that it's okay. You have the time to find something for you to work. You have the time to accommodate. I can do this for our family. So that's why he accepted the idea.
Mm. So it's an interesting the situation you're painting, the picture you're painting is very interesting because you weren't exactly of the same mind. And if you go back a little bit to the point when you first raised moving countries with him before you moved to the mountains, and did and you said that you're the one who creates the idea and then eventually the whole family gets on board with your idea. So do you think your husband knew that at some point you were inevitably, like you said, 6 years later in the mountain town, the time was going to come that you were going to say, okay, do you think in some way, he was prepared for that conversation?
I think yes, because he knows that I like changes. So he knows me. And even though he uh, doesn't agree every time with me, he always supports me, because I prove to him that it's okay to make changes in your life. It's okay to be afraid about the unknown, but if you embrace the unknown, you will be amazed how your life can change and
Mm,
how your life can improve.
mm,
So he started to have trust that the decisions that I make, even though at the beginning sounds crazy, are for our good.
mm. And say a little bit more about the fear of the unknown, because I think that's common to many of us to, especially if life is good, if your husband had a job that was working for him, the children are settled, you've got nice friendships, all is well. Sometimes the sense of change seems almost unnecessary or almost threatening, and the fear of the unknown is kind of or it's almost like the unknown is unnecessary because what you have is great. So say a little bit more about that transition, because obviously you thrive of change. You enjoy change. You find it stimulating. So I think this is interesting because, many of us, myself included, there are times when it's quite challenging to confront change and things like that. So say a little bit more about how this is for you.
It's challenging. Also for me, it's challenging because every confronting the unknown, it gives you that state that, okay, I have to put more effort to make it happen. But
Mm,
I also, what pushed me to do this is that I know that the comfort zone is our biggest enemy. How you said, if you are constrained, if you don't like your life, it's more easy for you to make changes because you don't have anywhere to go. You have to do this change. So in Romania also are a lot of people that change country and go from Romania to other countries because maybe they lose their jobs, maybe they don't have enough money to sustain their family, so move to other country to gain more, to support their family. But this wasn't our case. So uh, when you are good, you are comfortably, it's more hard to make that changes. But I know that even though it's okay challenging, because also for me when I made the first move and moved to Spain, to Gran Canaria, I didn't know the language. Only what I learned from movies, and I be, of course I informed about the legislation, about what I have to do when I moved there, but I didn't know anything. So it was challenging also for me, but in the same, I think everything has two parts. The part that is challenging, that maybe it stresses you a little, but also have that part that is enthusiastic. It's that place where you are like children, we become again children when you explore, that pleasure of exploring. So it depends on you where you put your energy in the, and what you tell yourself. You tell yourself, okay, this is stressful, this is so challenging, I can do it, I can. Or you tell yourself, oh, this is amazing, I can't wait to know, to explore this new thing, I can't wait to see how this can enrich me, how this can grow me. And the energy shifts. So that's why I do with with challenging, with the meeting with the unknown.
mm,
So at one point, I think it's good to, if
mm,
we do this from time to time.
mm. Absolutely. I always used to think it was good when I left while things were good, not wait for things to
Yes,
break down, so to speak. Life was often more interesting and, like you say, more exciting when I left when I was on a high, when life was great. When you wait for everything to crumble and then you pick your life up, it's a different thing. Then you mentioned just now that you moved to Gran Canaria, Spain. And did you make that move as the family? Was that from the mountain town?
yes, yes. So it took 1 year since we took the decision to move. 1 year, because at the beginning we didn't know. Okay, we wanted to live in a country where the climate is warm, where we don't have winter. So this is what, but we didn't know. Okay, where in this world? and we knew that we want to experience the life on an island. So we started to look. I have to say that I never been to Gran Canaria or to Spain. So all I did was searching to internet, and yeah, after we had some countries, we put it so we had the decision. Okay, we like to go to this to Gran Canaria. Um, and then it took us 1 year to um, put all the things in order in Romania. So we sold the house because we didn't have anybody in the city where we're living to manage the house. So we had that decision that it's best for us to do that thing. We had to prepare for, the children started to learn some Spanish, also us. We started to inform about the legislation, how we, what we have to do to in order to have the residence and all the things, to search houses and all that things. And then we fly to Gran Canaria.
Mm.
What also was challenging, because you have a plan, but things doesn't always go with the plan. So uh, was I think, I don't know, but I think most people have this challenge that they make the change, move to another country, and in the first month, maybe first week, they start overthinking. It was the best decision. I can go back. So we experienced that. Because we arrived to Gran Canaria. From Romania, we have talked to some agency to find a house. They told us that they founded the house and we have to go to see it. And when we arrived there, they told us, oh no, your house was given to others. So you have to search to another. And for 2 weeks, we searched one country and we stayed into an Airbnb. And this wasn't to the plan, because to the plan was we go to the house that we found it. So it was a challenging period. And when also me and my husband was asking ourselves, it, maybe it wasn't the best decision. What do we have to do now? So but I think these things are normal to happen. I think that the universe put you to the test. Do you really want this? Do you really? So if you pass the test, then it will be your life will be beautiful. And also, I am grateful for this experience, because you can say it was better to not happen this kind of things, but we learned so much from that experience, and also our children learn it, because they learn how to face this kind of challenge, how to stay calm, how to not go crazy. So we I think we managed to accomplish that, what I want actually to be an example for my children, how to live life.
Mm. And how did you, because it's so on point, you saying things aren't how they seem, and then the universe sends you a test. So how did you pass the test sent to you by the universe, so to speak? What were the things you and your husband kind of talked about or thought about that had you stay grounded and keep going? Because obviously you didn't have a home to run back to. You know, you had drawn a line in the sand, you had crossed that line. So how did you respond to the universe's test?
So first of all, I have this saying: never go back. Always look forward, because and even now, because also in Sardinia we have some challenging, and with my husband always we are saying, if it wasn't for us, it wouldn't happen. So if it wasn't for us to move, to make this decision, this change, it wouldn't happen. I have this strong belief that God doesn't allow to happen to you bad things, and all the things that happen to you are for you, not against you. So with that in mind, we calm down and we say, okay, this is just a little step. And also, we remind ourselves that everything happens with a reason. And the most time, and this was proven to me all my life, God have better plan for you that you have for you, that you made for you. So I was keep asking, okay, what is the better plan for me? And that's what was, because we finally we found a better place to live that was before at the beginning.
Mm,
So in 1 week, all arranged.
wow.
So the secret, it's not a secret. The the method, if you want, is to remember that all happens for you, and always it's a better plan for you. If
Mm,
things don't go how you plan it, ask yourself what is the better plan, and you will find
mm.
the answer. And expect that uh, good things will happen to you.
Yes, that makes so much sense to have the expectation for something good to come. And I love the for or against aspect. Yeah, wow. You're sharing a lot about mindset and one's approach to a situation that you can apply in any situation, not just in moving countries. So what you're saying is immensely valuable, but certainly to moving countries, it's almost critical, you know, for you not to turn around and get back on the plane and go home. Um, and what had Gran Canaria last a matter of months and then transition into Sardinia? What was the catalyst for change there?
So Gran Canaria is amazing, and in the first months we are feeling that we were feeling that we are in a continuous vacation. So almost every day to the beach, to the restaurant, and we enjoyed so much. But then we have to go back in business. And I think that experience moved forward fast because it's a vacation destination. So the vibe is always on partying, and the Spanish people are partying every day. And for me, this was at one point was a little exhausting. So I think because we had one apartment that was very well placed in the downtown to a city. We had all the utilities, but it was so much tourist flow, and so much rumor. And at the one point, this uh, it can give you that feeling that you are tired. So that I was feeling. And then uh, also I was moving from the mountains where everything was green and beautiful. The landscape in Gran Canaria, the landscape is beautiful, but it's too. deserted for me. Another reason was that um, we had to think about, because in Gran Canaria it's a meteorologic phenomenon, a storm from sand from the desert, and I discovered that I have allergy so to the sand. So I was feeling like I have a cold, and I was asking why I feel that way, because I'm here, it's warm, it's not cold. And I discovered that I have the allergy to that sand that was almost once a week, this thing. So we decided, and I know people that they take medicine for the allergy. So I didn't want this for me or for my children. So these were the reasons that made us uh, think about moving from Gran Canaria. Uh, Also, so we had these three main reasons. Also, if we enjoy the life and the island is beautiful, and I will like to turn there in vacation. So I was thinking, okay, where can we go from this? What are the island is? What are the places island where it's have this warm climate, and but it's not so desertic. And Sardinia came to my mind, and I never been to Sardinia in my life, but I looked to the internet, I saw some pictures, and I have the advantage that I know Italian, so it was the language barrier wasn't so big like the Spanish, and we decided to make this change. So in 1 week, we found another house in Sardinia, and we took the flight ticket, and we moved to Gran Canaria last year in 1st September.
You moved to Sardinia.
Yes.
So you moved to Sardinia, and just like that, you made the decision and moved. So it was very, very different from the previous time where you let ideas settle for, the best part
Yeah.
of a year, and then, but this was very, like,
This,
not necessarily sudden, but once you made your decision, you were taking your actions.
yes, because we had to move fast. First of all, because the children had to start the school, and second, also my husband wasn't so resistant because he was in the flow of changing. So even though at the beginning said, but we just arrived here. Now we want to move to another. I said, yes, let's go. And he said, okay. He didn't have the time to settle to Gran Canaria, so he wasn't so attached to Gran Canaria. So this was an advantage. And he said more easier, yes.
Mm,
We did this so fast I think in the middle of the August, because we knew that the children had to start the school, so we wanted for them to start the school here at the beginning.
mm. And so the timing was good. You got the children into school, and then in terms of language, there was no barrier for you. How about for your husband? Does he speak Italian?
No, neither my husband or my children didn't speak Italian. And they were a little upset because they were starting to learn Spanish. So they were speaking Spanish, even though not perfect. But And then I said, okay, now you have to to learn Italian, but no, don't worry, it's easy. So what helped us is that here people are great. So in school, the teacher was very understanding, and also they learn it so fast. I was amazed how fast they learn Italian. Even yesterday, I heard my daughter speaking at the telephone with one of her colleagues, and I was, oh, he now speaks better than me. So they learn fast. Uh, Children have this desire that maybe us adults forgot to explore. They are more open to the new things. So because us people that are telling me, but you know, you make so much changes to with your kids, and they need stability, they need to be in one place, and I don't think this helps them to. I think they what they need to learn is to be flexible, to adapt, to learn how to adapt to this world, because this world is evolving so fast and changes are made so fast in this world. So I think this is what we have to help our children to learn how
Mm.
to be flexible, how to adapt to new things. Um, Even here in Sardinia, last year we stayed in one city, so they go to one school in the city where we lived, 1 hour from the city where we are staying now, because when we moved here we stayed with in we didn't buy the house, we paid monthly. It doesn't came now the word, it came the word in in Italian.
You were
So
renting.
yes, we rented. It once came in Italian affitto. So we rented the house, and this year we buy an apartment here. So we have to change the city,
Mm.
uh, and they had to go to another school here. But I see that it's easier for them to adapt now, to meet new colleagues, even though they say, "Oh, I miss my old colleagues." But I think it helps them to develop more.
Mm. Um, yeah, so if we look at it from your children's perspective, this is interesting because they remind me of me because I changed schools quite a lot as a small child and countries. And so they've moved from, well, the young one probably didn't remember moving to the mountain town, but they moved to the mountain town, they moved to Gran Canaria, they moved to Sardinia, they went to a school, they changed schools in Sardinia, they changed homes in Sardinia. So in a matter of from the time they left the mountain town to now, they have gone through quite a number of changes. And did they or do they request anything of you? I know for myself, I started when they changed my school. I did change one more time after that, but at one point I said something which intimated, you know, is this it? Is this where I can start to put my roots down? And but the irony is I've been someone who's constantly moved ever since. Whether I move countries or not, I'm always moving house, moving jobs. The only thing that's stable in my life is my relationship. So it's really interesting that it definitely did me no harm, as far as I can see. But I'm intrigued how your children responded. Clearly, they're thriving and they're doing very well. But did they make any requests or demands of you, as I did of my mum? I'm just curious.
No, no, they only their only request. So when we were to Romania, in Romania, they were doing homeschool. They both were homeschooling, so this helped them to learn English. and they are comfortable with English. At least my daughter speaks very well English, the youngest so and so. But the only request was they wanted to continue with homeschooling because of the freedom that gives to them. But I choose for them to go to public school because I to help them to integrate faster and to learn the language faster. So this was the only request, and where we negotiated that they had to go to school. And now, and so they didn't have any other request. Only my daughter asked me if she can go to a school where they speak English. And my answer was, and I explained to her that the reason that she's going into school is to learn Italian faster and easier. And I don't put a lot of pressure on them with school, and I don't stress them. And they are good with that.
Mm.
Uh, and also because every time we decide to make a change, I ask them. So this wasn't a decision made by me and my husband, but every time was the decision made by all four of us. So they are implied in these changes. For
Mm.
example, now I prepare them because this is funny because when I arrived to Sardinia, I said, "Oh, this is my home. This I will live at least 5 years." And I was so enthusiastic, and I love Sardinia. Sardinia is a beautiful place, amazing place. And all my friends and people that know me better ask me, okay, I'm so curious how many years you will live in Sardinia, when you'll make the next change. So uh, now I prepare them because I want to make the next change the next year. And I ask them, what if we would you like to move from Sardinia to another place? And I I they all said yes. My husband didn't say yes because he said, I have a job now. We just buy an apartment. Now you want to move again? And I said, oh, not now, not now. In 1 year, we see how the things goes. But it will be interesting. So yeah.
And so where do you have in mind for this next move?
So I love to the next move to be to Dubai.
Oh, very different again.
Yes, because Sardinia, and I think of Dubai from the perspective of my business, and it's the place where I think my business will thrive. And if I would go there, it will be more. So I have my partner that lives in Dubai, but it will be more uh, good if we all, and also because we visit Dubai. My youngest son didn't remember, but my daughter remembers, and she loved it. So also my husband, and we are thinking of to make this change
Mm.
for the year.
So the family's open to the move to Dubai, and this time it's for it's interesting because as you track your your experiences, there are different incentives each time. Different things motivate you to make the move, or different things surface as a concern. So, like you mentioned that when you were in Spain, you didn't know you would have an allergy to the sand that comes through the storm, but you did develop that allergy. So obviously that was one factor that didn't make it so conducive to stay there. And then there were other reasons that, like you said, there were several reasons that prompted that move. And then now, this is the first time you're referring specifically to a professional need for the move. And so I want to contrast this with your husband, because as you just mentioned, your husband's in a job and so on. So how does he feel from the professional point of view? Is the job he's in, can it change and he do the same job in Dubai, or would he need to change completely? How does, and it certainly from the way you describe things, when there's a time of uncertainty job-wise, your job can carry the family. So obviously your job is a buffer. So, but just tell me a little bit more about that dynamic between the two of you and looking forward job-wise.
Yes, and this is a good point because, you know, uh, I thought, and I don't know if this happens in all the family, but I thought that the fact that, okay, I can support for some months the family, and it's okay for him not to work and to research. This was a point that was very challenging for our family because for him, this he made him feeling not good about that. So was a challenge. I thought that it will give him that place of assurance that he will feel safe, but he didn't feel very safe. He felt that um, he is not uh, good enough for our family. So it was a challenging period for us. And for me to understand that the man, I had to let him be the man. And men's um, feel that role in the family by providing, at least for my husband. If he doesn't provide, he feels that he isn't good enough. So now this year, that's why this is the reason that I said we don't do that. This change now. We let 1 year because we had a talk and I asked him if he wants to be always unemployed, employed to have a job, or he is thinking to start, or he also for him to start a business. I understood that he doesn't like to do what I am doing. Doesn't like the business that I'm doing. It's not for him. Doesn't like it. So now he is in that period that he, because also grew with that idea that you have to be the employed. You have to have a, it's safe for your life if you have a job, if you work for somebody. This is not the idea that I have. I think it's safe for you to work for you, not for somebody. But strong belief that came from the family, so I can change it so fast. So uh, it's for him to think for him what he would like to do. If he wants to stay unemployed, to be employed, or to start his own business. And he said that he's thinking about starting his own business, but for now he doesn't know what he will like to do, what he will want to do. And he has 1 year to think about it. And if not, his so flexible about jobs. So even he finished the same school as me, social work. We both were social workers. When we changed the city in Romania, he didn't work. He worked in a corporate. Now he's working in a company, so he is flexible. I don't have this. I don't worry that he will not find something to do.
Mm.
And this experience, because at the beginning, when he first had to leave his work, his job, to move to another city in Romania, he was so scared. But then when he moved to Gran Canaria and then to Italy, where he proved to him that himself that he can find a job, even he doesn't speak Italian so well, even he hasn't experience in this kind of work, he proved to him that no matter where he's in this world, if he wants to work, if he wants to have a job, he will find that job. And this is another winning for us and
Mm.
also for our children, because all we are doing, our children are seeing. So I think again we are doing our mission to show them how to live well, how to live happily, how to not be scared about the unknown, about the challenge. That it's good to have challenge in your life, because this grows you.
Absolutely. And in the beginning of our conversation, you talked about, I think you said something along the lines of, wanting to be the demonstration to your children and show them what's possible. And you wanted them to experience freedom. So say a bit more about that, because inevitably, whether we experience having freedom or not, we face challenges, no matter what. And clearly they're building a resilience to handle change and to respond to circumstances changing and not be at the effect of the circumstance, but rather be the person who's looking at the circumstance outside themselves and being able to do something about that. But you mentioned this aspect of freedom, so say something about that, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, freedom. I think everybody sees freedom in her his own way. For everybody, freedom means something else. Maybe for some person it means to have a lot of money and to go and do party all the time. Maybe for other people, freedom means to to walk and to do things that for other people are so simple to do. And for me, freedom is that you understand that in any situation you can choose. You can choose what you want to do. So and you have to take a responsibility for that choice that you have, because freedom also means responsibility, to take
Mm.
responsibility, even though maybe you at one point in your life you take a choice and the result is not as you expected. You have the freedom to assume, okay, I have this, it's okay, but I still have the freedom to choose, so that you are in control of your life. It doesn't mean that, and this is also what I want to show to my children, that um, you can have it all, that you can have it all, but if you have the courage to take decisions, make that choice. Because as I was saying at the beginning, I was a teacher in the university. I was a profession that in Romania is well seen. I had a place to live. I didn't have any credit in any bank. It was good, but I knew it that it can be better. And also, if you look at, okay, uh, I love my job, but I don't like this aspect that I don't have time for my family, for my children. Maybe I feel that my job is not well paid. You have the freedom to choose, and are so many people that stay there and they don't make that they don't take that step, that they don't choose, because in their mind they think I can do anything. And this is the biggest illusion that we all have, when you say to you, I can't do anything about this. So I think that freedom for me, and this thing of changing countries, is only one aspect of what freedom means to me. It's about, because okay, you change the country, but you have a package of things that you have to do. But in any part of this change, you have the freedom to choose. You want to do that, or you want to do that. You want to complain about things you don't have, or you want to enjoy the things that you have. So this is what I think freedom is for me.
Mm. I'm so glad I asked. That's that's really enlightening, and also just it's a really because I totally agree that obviously freedom is different for everyone. Um, and so I was intrigued by what you wanted to offer and instill in your children. And I'm really glad you've shared that today, because it is really interesting to hear your take, and frankly to be inspired by your take, on the situation, because we do have a choice on how it doesn't look like we have a choice. Often people think, well, this is it, but how we be about it, um, we do have a choice. And sometimes we can, as you're pointing to, choose something different. It just doesn't look obvious that there's an alternative sometimes. So I really appreciate you delving into that. Thank you. Um, and in terms of this next move to Dubai, obviously it will meet needs for your particular business, and your husband's open to what his options are. And then how do you see the transition for your children? Obviously, they're quite open to going, but in terms of schooling, um, what kind of school are you thinking that they go to? Is your daughter going to get her wish that she's homeschooled, or that she's in an English speaking school? What do you envisage coming down the line?
This will be interesting because my daughter finished the elementary school, so she will have to go to college. And now, at this moment, I told to her that she has 1 year to decide what she would like to study forward. Because now she doesn't know what to choose. So we'll see what she will like, because she changed her mind. And we'll see. Now, yesterday, she told me, because I told her, okay, if you want, if we do this change, what school would you like to take to do forward? And she said she will like. So yesterday she said she would like to uh, turn to homeschooling. we have 1 year to think about it. And for my youngest, for my boy, I sincerely, I didn't look for the school, but I think it will be an international school. I didn't make this research, but I think it would be an international school, so they will study in English, or maybe both. I don't know if homeschooling, for example, I don't know if homeschooling is allowed in Dubai, so I have to do my research.
Mm. So you have a year to do your research and explore all the options and decide if it's definitely the direction you want to take. And in the meantime, you have a year to continue enjoying Sardinia. What do you love about living in Sardinia?
Uh, I love here um, everything, but to give you some examples, I love the people are so warm, so welcoming. The landscape, it's like I feel like every day I'm in paradise here. Um, Also the food I like, and the weather is not so as I expect it to be. I expect it to be more warmer here, but it started to be cold. So not so cold like in Romania, but it's okay. Let's say it's okay. But I expect it to be more warmer, and I like that people really value their time here. I was surprised, and for me, a person that is I was used to go to the market when I wanted, and in Romania, the malls, the markets are open until the 11 p.m. So here, from in Italia, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., it's all closed. So people go to their homes, they have lunch with family, they have time to rest, to do siesta, how they say, they make sleep, and then they turn to the job or their business if they have business. And this happens usually if they have a business, so all the stores are closed. And this surprised me, was how you close your store and you go to eat. And but I understand that they value so much their time, and this was even it wasn't comfortable for me because, for example, I didn't have the salt. I remained without salt, and I wanted to go to the store to buy, and the store was closed. And also the big market, supermarkets at 8 p.m. all are closed. So this is one thing that I admire to the people from Italia, because it's a thing that's in Italy, that they value their time so much, and they put so much price to the family time.
Hmm. And do you think that's something you would like to carry with you if you make the move to Dubai, where it might be a different vibe?
Yes and no. I understood the idea that it's okay to stop, even though if you have a business, it's okay for you to stop and have your time when you decide to have that time. But it also, I don't think it's a good thing because, for example, now when the summer ends in Sardinia, almost all the business closed. I don't all Also because they have this relaxed way of being. They earn maybe enough in the summer, and in the winter they don't work so much. And I like to be active all the time. I like to be. That's one thing that I was talking this morning with my partner, and it's interesting that because last year when I arrived in Sardinia, I was coming from a period where I worked so much in my business, and I was at the point that I was feeling burnout. And this wasn't good for my business also because I was so stressful, and even though I was working so much, I didn't saw the results in the business, the results that I wanted to see. And when I came here, I think this energy that Sardinia has, that relax, that take it easy. Tomorrow is another day, is one saying here. Italians always says, calma, possiamo fare domani. Calm down, we can do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. So this helped me to relax a little, to be okay, relax. Don't be so freak controlling how my brother is saying to me. And I think I needed this energy to take it easy. And amazing, it's surprising, my business grow in this period when I was so, I let it more not so, I was doing the thing with more from a more relaxing state, not with so much pushing and controlling the things. And but I also miss that being in the middle of the things, going to the events, meeting people. And here is one thing I miss here in Sardinia because, as I said, when the summer ends, almost all the island goes to somehow to sleep. all goes to, okay, most of the restaurants are closing, and people are not willing to do so much things. So that's why I was thinking to Dubai, because there it's so, I I have, and also it's a thing that I have to experience for myself because my friend, she lives in Dubai, she told me that okay, here I like here because if you want, you have a lot of activities to do, a lot of events where to go. But if you like to have your place to relax, you can do that. That's it's what she's saying, but I have to experience that.
Mm.
And I don't know if Dubai will be will be the place. So
Yeah, it might be that you move there and it ticks the boxes for the professional reasons, and it gives you what you need there, and then you'll discover something new that
yeah,
you need or the family needs, and then
yes,
you'll be looking for the next country that will fulfill that.
yes.
Um,
And
but
I expect this to happen because also when I came in Sardinia, I saw that okay, it's very beautiful, and as I said, my friends all were making fun and saying, "Oh, I'm so curious to see how many years you will live in Sardinia and where will you go there then and so on." And I said to them, I don't know now. I don't know. Now I like this. Now I enjoy Sardinia. I enjoy this experience. And when the moment will come to move to another place, I'm open. Because it's something that I ask to the God, to the universe, if you want to say. And I said, I'm open to receive all you have to for me. So yeah, I think this world is so big and we have so many things to experience, and the life is so short. We don't have so much time to experience all the things that when if you an idea comes to you, maybe it's good to follow that idea and to see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I love your ethos of staying open, and the essential premise of having it all, which you touched upon as well. So yeah, so it sounds very exciting. And I've really enjoyed listening and being with you and hearing your take on things. And I thank you very much. Um, I I hope that you get to really enjoy your year in Sardinia. I spent only a few days there, but I certainly loved the food and I certainly loved my experience and definitely found the people very welcoming. So I hope that you enjoy your time until it's time for your next adventure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks very much for being here.